Pizza? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me a bit about what we have studied in the last class?
Ma'am, we have studied about the 5 life processes. Why is it important in our life? What's the difference between like living and non-living? How can we differentiate between both of them?
Very good, excellent. Yeah, I am requesting to all of you. Fiza has told me some problem, and other students, please switch on your camera. Yes, beta, please switch on the camera. Don't put it off. In at the end of the class, you will be showing me in the class only that these points you have written. Okay, I will see your notebook also. In between, whatever I am telling, that just write it down. Please write it down. I will be dictating, and please write down some important points also. Please switch on the camera. Nand Kishore, Nilofer, Aditya. Yes, beta, please switch on the camera. There is no point without camera if you are just sitting and listening.
Ma'am, our camera is on only.
Okay. Now, in the last class, we have studied differentiate differences between the living and the non-living things, as given in the paragraph. Said what are the different criterias on the basis of what we can differentiate between living and non-living. So these points were that all the living creatures or organisms, they have certain kind of life processes in their life to survive, like metabolism, digestion, respiration, nervous system. These are all playing very important role in making them living. Okay, so just movement is not the criteria on what basis you can differentiate living and non-living. There are other points also, as we have discussed. So these living creatures, they all need energy, and the breakdown of the energy to get the fuel kind of thing, we can see, to carry out all other processes of their life and for their survival. So they get the energy from food, and food in the form of glucose. So these were the few points we have discussed in the last class. Now, Nilofer,
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
beta. Just please tell me what else we have discussed here in from the chemistry point of view about the life processes. I have zoomed out also that point.
That in human body, there's chemical reactions happening, and everything in this world is carbon based.
Okay, very good. Chemical reaction. Yes, beta, please unmute. Some voices coming. I don't know who's. Okay, okay. Chemical reactions. Very good. Oxidation and reduction. Whenever any, I can say, chemical reaction is going inside the human body or any other organism, some kind of oxidation, that is gain or loss of electrons or hydrogen electrons, I can say ions, is taking place. Oxidation is gain of hydrogen ions or loss of hydrogen ions. Yes.
Um, I think loss,
Okay. And reduction?
gain,
Yeah, oxidation is donation of the hydrogen ion. Donation will be the better term. Okay. We can say it is donating. Very good. Now, next we have discussed about the single-celled organisms, that they too have this, special body organization, that a single cell can perform all the activities. So all this we have studied in the last class about the chemical reactions and the different life processes going on inside the living cell. Now, next topic is nutrition. Okay. So if we are talking about the life processes and energy, so we are getting that energy from where? Anybody can tell me? From where we are getting that energy?
From external raw materials.
Yeah, external raw material in the form of what? Nutrient. Okay. Nutrition is the process, but we are getting the energy from the nutrients we are eating or we are having as a food. Okay. So please write it down. Heading nutrient. Yeah. All of you are writing. Yes, beta, say yes or no. You are writing now.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. So the heading is nutrient. So first point is it is not from this. I am just giving you the notes. This part of NCRT will be covered in that. So the correct definition is not being given. I am telling you. The first point will be food is an organic substance. Organic. Okay. Food is organic substance. Can you write down? Any issue?
No, ma'am.
No.
Organic. Food is organic substance. So simplest food is glucose. If we are talking about the simplest food any organism is taking, and mostly if we are talking about the human beings when we are studying this bio in higher classes, so the simplest food is glucose. Okay, the simplest form of food that we are taking for energy is glucose. It is a simple sugar. Do not write this point simple sugar. I'm just telling you. So the simplest food, if asked what is the simplest food from which you are getting energy, is glucose. That's why if somebody is ill or the condition is not fine enough and hospitalized, what we are giving in the hospital? Glucose. Okay, all of you know this now. Externally,
Yes, ma'am.
glucose is provided because glucose is the simplest form from which our body can derive energy. Any other food item, like if the ill person, if you are going to make him or her to eat something, what is going to happen? Body will first break it down into simplest form, and that simplest form is glucose. And for that breakdown of chemical bonds, as we have discussed in the last class also, we need again energy. But if a person is ill or suffering from any disease, he don't have that kind of energy that he can break down the food particles. That's why we externally provide, with the help of vials we provide glucose. Clear beta? Because glucose is the
Yes.
simplest form, as glucose is absorbed by the body and it instantly provide the energy. Okay, so the general name of substances like glucose, we call it sugar or carbohydrates. Write it down. The general name of substances like glucose is, what is that?
Carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates. Okay, I hope all of you know the spelling of carbohydrate. So it is the common food from which we are getting the energy. So fat and proteins are the other sources of, they are the other sources of energy.
Energy.
Fat and proteins. Okay. Fat and protein.
Ma'am, could you
These
repeat?
are fat and proteins are other sources of, fat and proteins are other sources of source, source, sources of energy. Okay. Only this you need to write. I'm just explaining now. No need to write down. Apart from the fat and proteins, vitamins and minerals, they also provide us energy. Okay, they also come in the category of nutrients that is required by the body. Now this point you need to write down. So we will these in these points we were talking about the nutrient. What is nutrient? Now next is nutrition. What is nutrition? Again, correct definition or simplest definition is not given in NCERT. You need to write it down. Write it down. What is nutrition? Anybody want to suggest any definition, or if you know you have any idea what is nutrition?
Ma'am, the process of breaking down complex substances into simple sugars.
Not breaking down, not in the beginning only you can say breaking down. First you will take in food. Okay, what you will write down? Nutrition is the process by which food is obtained. Okay, nutrition is the process by which food is obtained. Okay, by which we take in food and utilizing it and utilizing it. Clear to you? So nutrients we take in, and the process by which we take in the nutrients, that process is called nutrition, and that is with the help of which? By the help of biocatalyst and enzymes. Okay, these complex substances are broken down into simpler inside our body, which is the next step of nutrition. Okay, what you were telling that was correct enough, but this is the next step. First we will take in the food. After that the breakdown is going to take place with the help of biocatalysts and enzymes. Anybody is having idea what is enzyme? Yeah, Aditya, will you please tell me beta what is enzyme?
Enzyme, we use that to for the growth of the body
No,
to
what is
improve
enzyme? We
our
need, yeah, definitely you are correct enough that we need it for the growth of the body. But what is enzyme? If I need to define enzyme. Yes, anybody else, beta? Aditya? It is not showing in the participants also now. What happened? I don't know. Okay, so what is enzyme? Anybody else? Beta biocatalyst. So catalyst, you will read in the chemistry also. This term catalyst, you will read in the chemistry also and in bio also. So catalyst means any, you can say substance or any organic compound which can increase or which can speed up the chemical reaction, that we call catalyst. Okay, got it? Speed up the reaction.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
it clear? I will give you an example,
Yes,
like
ma'am.
any chemical reaction inside our body that is happening in milli of seconds, in milliseconds. All of you know that. If you want to run, you will just start running. If you are eating, you instantly get the energy. Why? Because, yeah, Aditya, can you listen me?
Ma'am, he's
Yes,
not
am I
there.
audible now? You were okay, Aditya, can you listen me? Am I audible?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, now it's fine. So a catalyst is that chemical compound which can speed up the reaction. If any chemical reaction is taking place in like in 10 minutes, like in an hour, okay, chemical reactions, the breakdown is not that easy. If you are going to break the bond, okay, it's not easy, it is very difficult task, but with the help of enzyme, with the help of enzyme is acting as a supporting system. It is not doing a, or it is not going to participate directly in the chemical reaction. It is just giving a kick or a boost kind of thing in the chemical reaction, so that the reaction that is going to take place in hours or in minutes, it is going to take place in milliseconds. So it is reducing the time of the chemical reactions. Now you got the concept, what is biocatalyst or enzyme. So this catalyst term we are using in both bio also and chemistry also. But in bio, we are giving the term biocatalyst or enzyme. I hope this is clear to all of you. Yes, beta, say yes or no, then
Yes,
only I
ma'am.
will proceed.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Okay, so now if we are talking about the nutrition, next point that is coming, that is the mode of nutrition. Okay, so what are the different modes of nutrition? Anybody? Mode of nutrition,
Autotrophic and heterotrophic.
autotrophic and heterotrophic.
Heterotrophic.
Okay, you must have studied in the lower classes also. Autotrophic, these are the organisms that synthesize their food with the help of
Uh,
any pigment, we can say, like in plants they capture the sunlight and then it is being converted into some kind of energy substance like glucose, starch, etc. Okay, or in the simplest language we can say plants are autotrophic, which are synthesizing their food by photosynthesis. Clear to you?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now write down the definition for the 10th class. Now, this was the definition of the lower classes. Now, write down autotrophic nutrition is the mode of nutrition in which autotrophic nutrition is the mode of nutrition in which organisms synthesize organisms synthesize synthesize. Okay, synthesize means making. Synthesize its own food from from simple inorganic materials. Simple inorganic. So you need to write these terms when you are in the higher standard like 10th class or 11th class. Okay, inorganic materials. Inorganic materials are like carbon dioxide and water, single elements like those who are existing in the nature, like carbon dioxide, water, H2O molecules. So these are all inorganic substances, and from which we are making, or an autotrophic organism is making organic food. Okay, so the definition you will write down like this: mode of nutrition in which organism is synthesizing its own food with the help of simple inorganic materials in the presence of sunlight, etc. Okay, so those organisms which synthesize their own food, we generally say that these are autotrophic organisms. I hope this is clear to you. So if we are talking
Yes, sir.
about the plants, it is taking place in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, now the carbohydrates which are not used, they are stored in the form of starch. The question is sometimes asked from here that in which form the food is stored In autotrophs, when it is not utilized, the question can be framed or twisted, but the answer will be it is stored in the form of starch in case of plants and utilized whenever required. Clear, beta? So this starch is the case of plants. In case of plants, it is stored in the form of starch. But if we are talking about the higher organisms or human beings, it is being stored as glycogen. Okay, so glucose is the compound which is giving us energy. It is not the storage form, but when glucose is stored inside the human body, it is called glycogen. Why it is glycogen? So
Should
glucose,
we
like
write
it is
down?
from this, notes only you can write it down, or if you have the NCRT book, you can underline also, because this I am taking from the NCRT only.
Okay.
Okay, but if you can write down, it will be good enough. Notes will be in a sequence. So first, understand this. Now stop writing for 1 minute. After that, you can write down. So understand the difference between the glucose and the glycogen. So glucose is the single unit of energy, we can say. Okay, the single unit. But whereas glycogen is chain of so many glucose molecules. If the so many glucose molecules, they are joined by a bond. Okay, obviously they will be joined by a bond, and like thousand and lakhs of unit of glucose that is linked as a chain material, and then they are being compact, like ball like structure, and it is stored inside our body in the liver, where it is being stored in the liver. This chain of glucose molecules is then called glycogen. Got my point? Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Like if we are talking about a garland, okay, in Hindi, if we say mala or garland, what is happening in that case? Garland. So many flowers are joined by a thread. Clear? So many
Yes.
threads, they are joined by a thread. Okay, but flower, it is a chain of flowers. So many flowers are joined in a chain. Now each flower is what we can say glucose, but that whole garland, we can say it is glycogen. It is like that, because in storage we need to compact the molecules, because for storage purpose what we do, we make the things compact so that it takes less space, or it is easy to, I can say, breaking of bond. So our body does not store glucose as such. Glucose is in our blood only. Glucose travels in the bloodstream only. But if you are not eating the food for 2 3 days 4 days, uh, we are dead. No, we are not dead. Say yes or no. If you are not
Yes,
having
ma'am.
food for 2 3 days, you are not dead. Why? Because
Then
our body has stored glucose in the form of glycogen in the liver.
liver.
Okay, so whenever our body need what our liver is doing, or what our body is smart enough to do, it will take out, or not a single glycogen material is there. So many chains of glycogens are there in the liver. Okay, like so many garlands are being stored in a room, and whenever you require any flower, what you are going to do, you will just take one garland, you will cut the thread, you will break the bond, you will take out one flower, then second flower, like that. Whatever your necessity, you can take out the flowers and you can do your whatever you want to do. So in same way, our body, the glucose need is fulfilled while we are eating or while we are not eating. Is it clear to you? So glycogen is the storage form of glucose in chain form, longer chains, not a single unit. The units are in lakhs, crores, single glucose 1,000 times, lakhs of time, crores of time. Okay, clear
Yes.
to you? I'm just explaining this in detail because in bio, when you are going to take in higher classes also, this glycogen term you will, read so many times. And if this concept is not clear, what is glycogen and glucose, you are going to face difficulty. So I'm just trying to make it clear to you. I hope this is clear to you. Okay. So animals, they store this in the form of what?
Glycogen.
Glycogen. The question is also being asked in the exams. In case of plants, it is starch, and in case of human beings, it is glycogen. 1 mark question is asked. Okay, our next topic is now. What happened? Yes. Now comes the next topic is this chemical reaction related to photosynthesis. All of you can see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is very important. Write it down. This equation is very important. But 95% chances are there that question will be from this equation. Either the examiner will ask, write down the equation. Either he will ask, give you the reaction and will ask from which activity this reaction is related to, explain or balance the equation. He can ask in any form. So it is carbon dioxide, water. It is going to make glucose, oxygen, and again water. So this is the
Ma'am,
equation of, yeah.
I have a doubt, ma'am. Ma'am, can it be CO2 plus H2 that gives C6 H12O6 plus CO2 plus H2O? Ma'am, we can remove that 6, 12, and 6, right? If it's
You are asking that you can skip this balancing part.
yes, ma'am.
uh, Beta, marks can be deducted. It depends on the checker or those who is the head of the while checking exam sheets. Sometimes they give leniency, but sometimes they are not lenient enough. So if what is the point of just skipping it? It's very easy if you know how to balance the equation. I'm going to explain. I will try how to balance because it is the part of the chemistry. In chemistry you should know how to balance the equations because there will be questions in the chemistry also from the balancing point of view, and this is the simplest balancing I can say. So I will explain. I will say that do not skip this part. It depends on the examiner. You can get the marks, full marks, or you cannot get the full marks. It all depends on the checking on the answer key. I don't know whether you don't know that the checking, while checking, we get answer keys, and based on that, we give the marks. If the answer key it is being written, then we have to deduct the marks if students are not balancing the equations. The point is like that. Okay. So, yeah. So, this is the equation of the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, how that is going to take place. Carbon dioxide from the environment and water obviously from the environment or soil in the presence of chlorophyll pigment and sunlight. It is going to synthesize glucose, that is C6H12O6. Okay, so this you should know. Glucose, if chemically you are going to represent what it is, C6H12O6. What is mean? Who is going to explain me what does this mean?
Glucose.
Glucose, but in glucose we are having 6 molecules of carbon, 12 molecules of hydrogen and 6 molecules of
Oxygen.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Okay, very good. Now, with this, oxygen is liberated. Oxygen is liberated. It is the product of photosynthesis, oxygen. Okay, that's why we say that plant more trees and you will get good, purified air. Why? Because when there are more plants, more photosynthesis is going to take place, and more oxygen will be there in the environment. Okay, and apart from that, water is also generated as a side product. Clear? So this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
very important. Question will be asked, 95% chances are there. And apart from that, this, the question is, sometime asked in 3 mark, like more, not a short answer, or, in 1 mark. It can be, in long pattern also. Like the question will be asked that give the equational derivation, or the equation that is going to take place in the photosynthesis in plants, and explain the events occurring during this process. And students, they know the concept that carbon dioxide and water is going to give us glucose. But when the examiner or the is asking that explain the events, then you should write down these points, like in point wise. Answer should be in points, like absorption of light by chlorophyll. First of all, what is going to take place? Light is being put on leaf, and after that leaf, you can see in the diagram also. So this is the pictorial view. This should be clear to you. So how this photosynthesis is going to take place in the plant? If this is the structure of the leaf, this is the upper epidermis and this is the lower epidermis. And this smaller portion is being magnified to show you the internal structure of the leaf. All of you can see? Yes,
Yes.
beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Up, upper epidermis, lower epidermis, and in between we have this chloroplast. Okay, in chloroplast we have this chlorophyll molecule or pigment. So what is chlorophyll? It is a pigment. What is pigment? Pigment is a substance which gives color to any substance. Okay, like our skin color. Our skin color is also decided by the melanin pigment. Okay, this is the general knowledge question. Melanin, Nin. So this pigment is present in the skin of the human beings, in the hair. As much melanin is present in the skin or the hair, the darker the person would be, the darker the color of the hairs would be. Like somebody is fair enough, that means the melanin pigment is present in lesser quantity. Genes which are synthesizing melanin pigment, that is low. Clear to you? Okay,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
like that color of the hairs also, like when we start graying of hairs in later stage of our life, when our hairs are not brown or black enough and it starts graying, it is due to the lack of the melanin pigment only. So likewise, in all the plants, the color of the flowers, color of the leaves, all depends on the pigments. The different pigments, they have different names. Like we humans, I have told you about the skin and the hair color, we are saying it is melanin pigment. So the same way in plants, the green color is for the what?
Chloroplast.
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll.
Yeah, beta, chloroplast is the cellular structure inside which chlorophyll is present. Okay, these circular things are chloroplasts, and inside them there is chlorophyll. Okay, you got my point? So chlorophyll is the pigment which is capturing the sunlight. Okay, it capture the sunlight, and what it is going to do, again, due to the sunlight, when sunlight is going to put on these chemical bonds of carbon dioxide and hydrogen, rearrangement of the bonds is going to take place. New bonds are going to form, new chemical bonds are being formed, and they are going to form glucose. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the second thing is the conversion of the light to the chemical energy. What I have told you just now. Light energy is being converted into chemical bonds or chemical energy. Splitting of the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. So this water molecule is going to break down into hydrogen and oxygen, because ultimately we need oxygen for the survival and for the continuation of life on earth. We do need oxygen. So plants, they are taking up the carbon dioxide and they are giving us oxygen due to photosynthesis. Now this reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates, oh, now glucose is carbohydrate. Now
Ma'am,
this carb, yeah.
ma'am, how did they convert light energy to chemical energy?
By breaking down the bonds, beta. When bonds are being broken, some kind of energy is always released. Okay, now C and C bond is there. Like, if sunlight has photons. I don't know whether you have heard this term or not. Photons, what are photons? In physics, I think you must have read, or you will be reading in 10th class only. Light has photons. Photons are energy packets. They are highly excited molecules, I can say. Okay, so this sunlight is carrying the photons, and whenever they are, being, like hitting any chemical bond or like that, what is going to take place? That bond is being broken down. That bond is being broken down. Bond will be broken down, and what that is going to release some kind of energy. Okay, when bond is broken down, it is going to release some energy. Same way at these bombs, atomic bombs or nuclear bomb and hydrogen bomb, why they are going to destruct the earth or surroundings? Why destruction is taking place by bombs? Why? Because what is the concept of bombing or making bomb? The energy bonds are being broken, and when so many bonds are being broken at a larger scale, what is going to happen? Very large energy is being released in the surrounding, and that is causing the destruction we are seeing after bombing. Okay, so
Okay, ma'am.
all this is the
Yes, sir.
concept of physics and chemistry. You will be reading, and then it is be more clear to you. Now sunlight is carrying the photons, and these photons are very high energy packets. Okay, we in generally we say this term energy packets or the light packets. So whenever they are emitted, and whenever they are just hitting the bonds between any chemical compound, the chemicals are being released in the form of energy by breaking down chemical bonds. Okay, now any carbon and hydrogen bond is there, if oxygen is also released, so these bonds will be broken down and some kind of energy will be released, because these bonds are holding the energy. These chemical bonds, they always hold some kind of energy. Clear to you? I'm
Yes, sir.
giving you one more example in general life, if you can understand from that. If there are two, three, your friends are there, your bond is strong enough. Okay, your bond is strong enough. If you like, you are three friends in the class, you are bonded very, strongly. And if some kind of fight is there, and your bond is being broken, and you three are not strong enough, when there is unity and you are, bonded to something, it is very difficult to break that bond. Okay, once the bond is being broken and you three are, as an individuals, it is very easy to target you, it is very easy to hit you. Clear? Because that energy was there between you when you all were bonded, you were all together. Okay, at that time there was much energy in between you. But when the bond is being broken between you as an individual, that energy is being released, and now you can be targeted easily. Okay, if two or three persons are there, hitting them, fighting with them, it is difficult or not? Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
But
yes.
if a single individual is there, you can just face that person, you can just fight with that person. It's not a difficult task for you, because their energy is not that strong enough. So in chemical, reactions, the chemical energy is stored, and when these chemical bonds are being broken, energy is released. And the basic, I can say, fundamental equation or law of universe is that energy cannot be, it is neither destroyed nor created. It can transfer from one form of energy to the another form of energy. So that's why we are using this, that light energy is being converted to chemical energy. Clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this point, whole paragraph and these points are very important. You should, mug it up, I can say. This reaction also and these points also. So many times it is, I have explained you now, just how to write it down. Absorption of light by the chlorophyll, conversion of light to chemical energy, and lastly, the reduction of carbon dioxide to the carbohydrates, that is glucose. And apart from this, oxygen is being liberated and the water molecules also. Now, one more point you should write it down in your notebook, because afterwards you can just skip it. Desert plants in the desert area, the carbon dioxide at night and prepare an intermediate which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. So desert plants, they have the speciality that they take up carbon dioxide at night. That photosynthesis is going to take place during daytime in the sunlight. In the night, sunlight is not present. So this activity cannot be done during the night. Clear? Yes
Yes,
or
ma'am.
no? Yes. But in desert plants, opposite is happening. What opposite is happening? That carbon dioxide is being taken up, or photosynthesis is being done in the night. And these plants, they are utilizing this glucose in the night for their energy purpose. But these are utilizing this energy part during the day. Okay, if the question is asked related to the desert plants, then opposite of this equation is going to happen. This you should keep in your mind. Sometimes the question can be asked from this also. Clear? It
Yes,
can be
ma'am.
asked that the desert plants, they are taking up carbon dioxide during the day or the night. They are utilizing in the night, and the energy assimilated, or the glucose molecules which are being synthesized, they are utilized during the day. Okay, so this was the
Yes, ma'am.
part related to this. Now I have explained this, that these green dots are the cell organelles which are carrying the chloroplast and chlorophyll. Okay, so the chlorophyll is essential for the photosynthesis along with the sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water molecule. It is very necessary. Now, I'm coming to this equation again because you are facing some difficulty in balancing. I will try to explain you how to balance, but this is the chemistry point. Maybe you are some of you are facing the issues, but I will try to explain. Now, what is happening? 6 CO2, 12 H2O molecules. So, left hand side and right hand side of the equation should have equal molecules. That is the balancing. Okay, balancing means both the sides should have what? Equal molecules. And what molecules we are having here? Carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and oxygen. Clear? We have carbon dioxide, we have hydrogen, we have oxygen. Now, if 6 and 12 is not there, what is going to happen? Here we are having how much carbon compounds, carbon molecules? Sorry,
6.
6.
6. But here we are having only, if CO2 is there, we are having only one carbon. If 6 is not there, if the balancing is not there, then we are having just
1 carbon.
one carbon. But we should have how many? 6. Because this side we are having 6 carbon molecules. So what we are going to do? We are going to put 6 in front of C. Okay. So we have put 6 in front of C. But when we are putting 6 in front of C, automatically we are O2 means we have 2 oxygen molecules. Okay, but this side we are having, if 6 is not here, balancing we are doing it later on, 6 here and 1 here and 1 here. Abhi, now just leave these. If we are focusing in just on glucose, we are having 6 glucose molecules, but here we are having 2. Okay, but after putting 6 with CO2 carbon dioxide, automatically they have become how many in number?
6.
Yes, not 6, 12. Because beta we are having 2 oxygen molecules, 6 of one oxygen and 6 of another. O2 means we are having how many oxygen molecules? O2 means what? How many we are having? Oxygen molecules 2. O2 means 1 and 2. That is going to make O2. Clear? And if I am just putting 6 here and 6 here, what is going to be the total? It is
12.
12. O6 plus O6. It is going to be 12. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now just leave this. Now coming to H2O. H2O, if we are going to take, we are having H and O. Hydrogen molecules in H2O, we are having 2. Here also we are having 2, H2, H2. So there is no issue. Okay. But where the issue is coming? Where? That H is 12. H is 12. Clear? And at H2O, it is having again 2. H2, it is having 2 molecules here and 2 here. Clear? But to balance 6 here and like 12 here, we need to put 12 in front of H2O. Okay? We need to put H2O in 12 in front of 12 H2O. Now, if we have put 12 H2O, now H2 they have become 24 and O it is became 12. 12 is in front of O. It means oxygens are how many in number? 12. Clear? Now 12 to the 24. Now hydrogen molecules they have become 24 in number and oxygen is 12. So at this side we will put that number that is going to equalize at the left hand side. We need they should be balanced or equal in number of molecules. Now if we are going to make 24 H2 molecules, what you need to do? 6. You need to put 6 here. Now 6. After putting this 6 and this 2, when you are going to multiply, this is becoming 12 and
Yes.
these are already 12. 12 plus 12, that is be
20.
24. What we needed at this side, this left hand side, we needed 24. And this side also we are having, right hand side we have 24. And oxygen also 6 here and 6 here. Oxygen molecules also become 12. Okay. So that is the point of balancing the equations. You should know how to balance, and this equation is very, if you are not going to getting the concept of this chemistry, you can just learn 6 12 and this side 6 6 you need to write down in front of oxygen and water molecule. So I am suggesting it's best if you can write down the whole equation with this balancing part. Clear, beta? So we have studied about this photosynthesis process, what events are going to take place, and apart from this we have studied about the autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition we will study in our coming classes. Okay, this was the part of the autotrophic nutrition. What is nutrient, what is nutrition, we have studied in
Mom, could
this.
you explain the third event of photosynthesis?
Yeah. Third event in this, it is saying reduction of carbon dioxide to the carbohydrates. Okay, what does this mean? Reduction,
Mom, decrease in
oxidation reduction. Yes, don't go in that much detail of chemistry part. The simple thing is that carbon dioxide which was present, okay, which was present as a substrate in the reaction. Substrate means that is going to make some product at the end of the reaction. Okay, this carbon dioxide is reduced or synthesized glucose molecules with this water molecule. It is like making a compound. These two, carbon dioxide and hydrogen, it is going to make a compound which we call glucose. Okay, now the carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate, that is glucose molecule. Okay, now this glucose molecule will be I can say stored in the form of starch. Now glucose will be converted in starch in case of plants. Starch, all of you know, I think. है ना? Like potato example I am giving you. That white portion, if you are cutting the potato slices, that white juice, that is starch. In case of rice also, that white, when you are washing the rice, that is starch. That is the form of, other form of glucose only. Okay, if you will study in the higher classes bio, you will get to know about the chemical structures also, how glucose is different, starch is different, and fructose and other sugars are different. Okay, but at this level, glucose, starch, glycogen, these are all carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates means compounds of carbon and hydrogen and oxygen molecule also. Okay, in glucose there are only carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. You can see if the chemical formula, you can see chemical part, carbon, hydrogen, and that's why carbohydrates, carbon and hydrogen are the main players. Okay, clear? So what is happening in this process of photosynthesis? First of all, sunlight is being captured, light energy, by the chlorophyll molecule, and that chlorophyll molecule is going to convert light energy into the chemical energy by breaking the bond of hydrogen and oxygen in water molecules, and a new compound is being formed by this, and the reduction of carbon dioxide into glucose. Clear? So
So
starch is,
the
yeah,
carbon dioxide is reduced to make carbohydrates.
yes, yes,
Oh,
reduction is going to take place. Okay, and if the equation is going the other way around, then the glucose is being oxidized to carbon dioxide. Okay,
okay.
yes. Any other doubt, beta? I hope all of you have written the notes. Can you show me by putting your notebook in front of your camera so that I can have an idea that you have. Fiza, your camera is off. Are you listening me or not? You have attended the class or not?
Yes, ma'am, I'm
Yes.
listening.
Okay. Okay, so that's all about today's class. I hope all of you have, understood. In the next class also, I will expect from you people that you revise all the points, and we will discuss in the beginning of the class, and we will just take a short revision, and then we will proceed to the next topic. Yes, but any other doubt?
No,
Okay, then please revise. Okay, bye-bye, all of
Thank you,
you.
thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
goodbye.